Welcome to the Trill and BA Show. I'm your host, Felicia Ann Rose Anuha, aka the Trillest MBA you will ever know. And I'm here to help you survive and thrive in corporate America by giving you the truth and being as real as only I can be. Happy Sunday, everybody. Welcome back to the show. If this is your first time, we are in the midst of a series where I am breaking down How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. And I have broken down this whole book. It has 4 parts. We are on part 4, and we are delving into the next set of 3 principles that we're going to talk about, principles 4, 5, and 6 of part 4. And part 4 is breaking down Be a Leader, How to Change People Without Giving Offense or Arousing Resentment. So that is this part. And we are going to kick it off with principle number 4 on this episode. But if you haven't listen to the episodes, go back, search the episodes. They're a bit scattered a little bit. They don't go chronologically all the way back because I've taken breaks in between, had some updates for you guys. And so it is not in sequential order. We're talking about me. Hi, nice to meet you. I'm Felicia. So before we get started, though, we have a Today's corporate warrior is Dr. Margaret-Mary Wilson, Executive Vice President and Chief Medical Officer of UnitedHealth Group. Let me tell y'all, I went and looked at this woman LinkedIn and I was like, ooh, I'm intimidated. She has so many degrees. She got an MBA. She got an MD. She got some other degrees. I don't even know what those degrees are. Listen, I just need to put some respect on her name. So let me tell you guys about Dr. Wilson. Dr. Margaret-Mary Wilson was named Executive Vice President and Chief Medical Officer of UnitedHealth in December of 2021. Wilson advances the company's clinical innovations and leads efforts to develop a modern, sustainable, high-performing health system that addresses some of the critical needs and opportunities around improving health equity, expanding access, lowering costs, and improving outcomes and experiences for patients, payers, and providers. Wilson joined UnitedHealth Group in 2008 and most recently served as Associate Chief Medical Officer. Prior to that, she served at UnitedHealthcare Clinical Services and then as Chief Medical Officer for UnitedHealthcare Global, where she was responsible for ensuring a high-performance, high-reliability global clinical care delivery business. This woman is a boss. And her job is to help all the key stakeholders for UnitedHealth Group with the best outcomes. And when it comes to healthcare, I'm sure this job that she has is no easy feat. And so for that, Dr. Wilson, I don't know you, but I would be honored to meet you. If anybody knows Dr. Wilson, tag her. Let her know that we shouted her and her work out in this podcast. So now, for this first segment, we're going to dive into principle number 4 of part 4 in Dale Carnegie, How to Win Friends and Influence People. And the principle is ask questions instead of giving direct orders. And the name of this chapter for this principle is No One Likes to Take Orders. And I don't know about y'all, but I'm going to tell you right now, I do not like to be told what to do. I've been this way since I can remember. My mother, God rest her soul, pretty much beat me into submission. And I was raised in the South. And so it was definitely, respect my authority from all the adults. And you fell in line so that you wouldn't get your ass beat, not because you necessarily wanted to, but this was just how life was. So when Dale Carnegie is saying no one likes to take orders, I was like, I feel that deep in my spirit. But then I also am starting to come into this space where I need to give people orders. I need to tell people what to do. I need them to do it in order to get jobs done, in order to get work done, especially in my own company. I really want you guys who are having to lead other people, whether they directly report to you or they're your cross-functional team, to really, really think through the tactic that I am about to share with you from Mr. Dale Carnegie.
Are you listening?
So the tactic they say to use, or he illustrates in this very, very short chapter, is all about asking questions. So instead of giving somebody a direct order, when you have to work with them, you want to ask questions about it. You want to say things like, you might want to consider this. What do you think? Or do you think that would work? So you tell them what you want them to do. And then you say, do you think that would work? Or is there another way? And Dale Carnegie says, asking questions not only makes an order more palatable, it often stimulates the creativity of the persons whom you ask. People are more likely to accept an order if they have had a part in the decision that caused the order to be issued. And I thought about this, and I thought about this, and I was like, he's right.
Damn. Yeah.
When I have worked with people where, what we see as collaboration, so if I had a manager and it felt like they were bringing me in, it was being collaborative, I felt like I was a part of the team. This works really, really well because it doesn't feel like this person is just dictating to you or telling you what to do. It feels like they value you, they value your opinion. So this tactic actually goes a lot further than the simple getting somebody to do what you need them to do. And it really does tap into like what the heart of a leader looks like. And what I love about this tactic is if you are in an organization that talks about being highly collaborative, and it seems very cliche these days for people to say, oh, we're a highly collaborative team. We're collaborate, blah, blah, collaboration, yada, yada. We've heard it over and over again. But two things. One, if you want to be seen as being highly collaborative, this tactic will help you drive that narrative. And so if the company truly values being highly collaborative or truly values collaboration, then when you do this and you treat all your coworkers and even the people who are your direct reports this way, you will continue to drive the narrative that you're a highly collaborative person. In addition to saying, I'm highly collaborative. I want to know what you think. I want us to, the best ideas, two heads are better than one, blah, blah, blah. So all those cliche things towards collaboration, you want to be saying about yourself, and you want to drive that narrative. But number two, this really is how you be collaborative. Like, this is the backbone of collaboration, is asking people to give their POV, asking people for their input before you make decisions. And you could still make the same decision you were going to make, and you can bring them along on that journey of your decision making and make them feel like they have input. Even if you're like, hey, I considered this, but here's why I decided to go XYZ route. We'll see. I could be totally wrong, but, my intuition or data or whatever has led me down this path. We're going to play it out. If it doesn't work, we'll regroup. We'll learn from that, and then we'll move forward, right? There's nothing wrong with saying any of that or sharing any of that or expressing any of that. And you keep going, because in actuality, who really has the answers? Not nary a damn person. Not none of us don't have no real answers. We fake it till we make it. Some things because when you didn't have the answers before and it was a similar situation and it played out. So now you're guessing based on previous experience how this might play out. Guess what? Still a guess. Still don't know. I mean, some things are predictable. Human behavior is predictable. But then there's always a little, monkey wrench or boomerang or something happens. And even though it's the same shit, different smell, that different smell could throw you off on your decision making. So don't ever get too cocky just because, you've seen the patterns and you've seen things play out, blah, blah, blah. Something might come along to surprise you. So always have that open mind and always bring people in and bring people along on the journey. Now, I say all that. I don't want to be a hypocrite. This is something I'm working on too, guys. I'm not really a bring people along on the journey person. And this is something I've really had to learn as I've grown in my career. And I really credit my work BFF, Jasmine, for watching her do it and be like, oh, I'm supposed to do it like that. I didn't know I was supposed to do all that. That feels like a lot of work. You got to run around and build consensus. And I've never seen anybody really do it until I saw her do it. And I don't know of those dynamics. I'll have to think through that. That might be a whole nother episode. So before my ADHD sends me on a tangent, I'm going to think through that. We're going to take a break. But when we get back from the break, I'm going to talk about something that is definitely something Michelle Obama would be very proud of when we get back from the break. Hey guys, guess what? Yes, you guessed it. We are launching a new course. So if you are out there and you want to get promoted in 2023, you want to set yourself up for promotion, you have been hitting that glass, you don't know why, you've done all the things from all the shows, you've tuned in, you've shown up, you've shown out, you've won friends, you've influenced people, you've done everything, and you still can't crack the code on getting promoted, this course will be for you. So you want to head on over to trillandba.com/coaching and you can sign up for the course. Yep, right there. You can sign up for the course. If you have questions, you can always email us at ask@trillandba.com. We're happy to answer your questions. If we need to jump on a quick phone call, we're happy to do that with you too. Make sure you understand if this course is for you. But I'm guaranteeing you, if you want to get promoted, you want to get paid more, this is the class for you. So go on over to trillandba.com/coaching and sign up for the course so you can be on your way to this next promotion. I got you. All right, let's get back to the show. All right, guys. So we are deep diving into Dale Carnegie because this is all the things you need to know about how to navigate in the workplace. And we are on part 4. And this is chapter 5 in part 4. And the title of this chapter is Let the Other Person Save Face. I know. I felt that. I feel that too, right? Because my question is, how many times is somebody letting me save face? That is my question. I don't know about y'all, but I feel like I'm always the one having to let other people save face. How many times have you been in a meeting and one of your coworkers showed their ass, right? And you were like an innocent bystander of them showing their ass. And you refrained because you already knew. I'm the only Black person in this room. They mad about this situation. It ain't really about me. Like, you have to talk your ego off the ledge, right? In the meeting, because you got to keep your paycheck so you can pay your bills and handle your responsibilities. And it just so reminds me of Michelle Obama.
When they go low, we go high.
And the thing is, Michelle ain't wrong. She ain't wrong. But I struggle, y'all. I'm being honest. And Dale Carnegie, I'm sitting up here. And this really is a ego check, right? That he talks about. Because he says, even if we are right and the other person is definitely wrong, we only destroy ego by causing someone to lose face. He goes on to say, the legendary French aviation pioneer and author, Antoine de Saint-Exupéry. I have no idea. This is some old French man from who knows when. And I'm not that well read. But this person wrote, this aviation pioneer and author wrote, I have no right to say or do anything that diminishes a man in his own eyes. What matters is not what I think of him, but what he thinks of himself. Hurting a man in his dignity is a crime. Mm-hmm. I know, right? I was like, this was not written for us. Where's my dignity? Where's my humanity? Oh, I would like it. I'd like if you recognize it, people, colonizers. Yeah. ADD side note. Please tell me you saw Wakanda Forever, because Black excellence. Okay, just had to throw that in there. Yeah, guys. So it is best in the management of your career that you let all of that history go and all of the microaggressions and dehumanizations that we face all the time, and you not pop back. Keep yourself in check. Extend this grace, even though many times we will not be extended this grace back or given this grace in the first place. But in order to get to where we're trying to go, we have to stay diligent on this. So you can't let yourself get in your feelings, because you will let this principle go out the window. And letting the other person save face is so critical in being able to maneuver and manipulate the dynamics. Because when you let other people save face, they know it. So if you have a pull them to the side, or you wait till after the meeting, or you even wait another day, and you go to them and you say, hey, I just want to have this conversation, just between us. And this and this and this thing happened. And so I just want to make sure, are you okay? Like, when people show their ass and they don't let you save face, they try to throw you under the bus, or they try to do all the other things. I always hit them with, are you okay? Because what happened seemed a bit out of character, or something like that. I hit them with that. And then we had a conversation. And then at the end of the day, they will then in turn realize, like, oh, snap, this person could have really threw me under the bus in that meeting. And you want to let them know in no uncertain terms, but in a very nice way. So you want to say, yeah, because when we met and this happened, I really wanted to say blah, 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 but I didn't think that would be productive. And I just want us to focus on the business because we're here. We're all trying to do our best. And I know that you're doing your best and you're growing and doing and blah, blah, positive, positive. Remember last week we talked about pat, 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 poke. Same situation in this. But I'm saying you let the other person save face, but that don't mean you let them get away with shit. Those are two separate things. So I want you to understand that too. I hope that all makes sense. It really is a balancing act, but you have to do it. I know it's like, wow, I gotta balance. I know. It's okay. We're going to be okay. We're going to make it. Now, when we get back from the break, we're going to wrap up. I'm going to tell you what the most important thing is to be a great leader that I got from these 3 principles I'm breaking down today when we get back from the break. Hey, my Patreon listeners. Oh my God. I have been on break. I owe you guys tremendously. First, I just want to say thank you for being a patron of the Trill and BA show. Without your contributions, Chris might not get paid. No, we're going to pay. We're going to make sure Chris gets paid. But I just want to tell you guys, I really appreciate y'all. And if you love this show and if you've gotten value out of the show, you've gotten a promotion from this show, you've got off a PIP because of the show. So if I saved your job, I help you get a new job, I help you get a raise, please, please, please become a patron of the Trill and BA show. I'm constantly trying to figure out with my team what we are doing for our Patreons. Bear with me and trust me, the day one Patreons, I got special stuff for y'all coming out in the new year. I promise, I promise, I promise. You know, y'all just keep riding with me, rocking with me. I got y'all. I appreciate the support. I appreciate everybody for listening to the show. I'm glad that it is a blessing to you as much as you guys have been a blessing to me. Okay? So, with that said, go to the link in the show notes. If you are not a patron, become a patron. And let's get back to the show. And we are back. We're about to wrap up. So now the 6th principle starts out in a chapter titled How to Spur People On to Success. So this is about motivating people. So one of the things that I've learned recently is that your job as a people manager is to motivate and inspire. And I learned that, but you know, it's so funny when you are in a situation at work and you pick up a nugget and you're like, okay. And it's one of those things where it's like, oh, I feel like I failed at this. Okay, I got it. Somebody gave me some feedback. Great. But then I started seeing it in other places. So recently I saw that Bob Iger is back as the CEO of Disney. I had joined a masterclass some months ago and something was like, hey, I think he did a masterclass on like leadership. I said, let me watch this. So I recently watched Bob Iger's masterclass and something he talked about in his leadership style. And this really hit home for me about how he talked about his job was to motivate and inspire people. And that he used creativity to do that. And I was like, oh, it hit me again, the motivate and inspire. And so as I'm building my own company, I realized like this is a nugget that's resonating for me that I'm going to have to really hone in on, because as I grow my team, I'm going to have to remember to use words and language and communication that motivates and inspires. And so listen, y'all, I don't care what 9-to-5 W-2 job you have. I know a lot of y'all are side hustling and all that great thing. There are so many things you can learn from your day job that will translate into your business if you just pay attention. Pay attention. Okay, that was a whole ADD side note. Now, in this last principle we're going to talk about today, the principle is praise the slightest improvement and praise every improvement. Be hearty in your approbation and lavish in your praise. That's a lot of principle there. And so the thing that caught me on this one is, he always gives these parables and stories. He talked about, somebody encouraging, Charles Dickens. And if they hadn't done that, he probably wouldn't be the writer he is. And so they had praised him, right? And then at the end, he says, yes, you who are reading these lines possess powers of various sorts, which you habitually fail to use. And one of these powers you are probably not using to the fullest extent is your magic ability to praise people and inspire them with a realization of their latent possibilities. Abilities wither under criticism. They blossom under encouragement. To become a more effective leader of people, apply praise the slightest improvement and praise every improvement. Be hearty in your approbation and lavish in your praise. So that's the very end of the chapter that he says. And the thing that stuck with me was that this was a power. But what I realized, and this is the most important thing, you must kill your ego in order to do this. And I think for us in our culture, I don't know about y'all, but I and a lot of my friends, so this is why I'm extrapolating to, there's probably a good contingent of us. And a lot of it comes from slavery. But we've been taught, you got to work 10 times as hard, get half as far. Got to work hard. And so part of that is also this relentlessness in critique. And if you were deemed gifted and talented growing up, you probably went through more than your fair share of criticism. And I think a lot of us need to go to therapy and process the perfectionisms that we hold and kind of think through how we show up in this. Because I remember I am in therapy and my therapist was like, you should really just celebrate everything you do. Like, get out of bed. Give yourself a pat on the back for that. And that still to this day, I'm working through it, right? But when she said that, I was like, but that's what you're supposed to do. And I realized I was raised with this very hypercritical, lens where that's what you're supposed to do. I'm not, my mom, I'll never forget. I came home from school and this girl in my class, she had said her mom gave her $10 for every A that she got. And clearly she didn't get all A's. And so then I come home and of course I got all A's. And I'm like, Mommy, such and such mama give her $10 for every A she get. I want $10 for every A I get. And my mom's response was, I ain't gonna say the girl's name. She said, such and such is dumb. You're not dumb. You're supposed to get A's. I'm not paying you for what you're supposed to do. And so I said, oh, okay. Because you can't really argue with the logic, right? Like, if that's something you're supposed to do, like, why am I paying you for it? But honestly, we have to start with ourselves. And we have to think through, like, what are we not giving ourselves credit for? What can we give ourselves credit for? Because I think when you can't give yourself credit, you don't allow credit to be given because you think, well, that's what I'm supposed to do. I'm just doing what I'm supposed to do. Then you're not going to be able to deploy this tactic if you don't do this for yourself. And so what I mean by you have to kill your ego holds on to all these things and it comes out in ways, well, I'm able to do it. I mean, I don't know why I have to sit here and praise you for doing something that I'm able to do. Here's the thing. You are Black excellence. You're able to do a whole lot more than most. Okay? We know this. It's a lot of mediocrity running amok and astray in corporate. But I'm telling you, holding on to that is not going to get you where you're trying to go. So I need you to, when you talk to your therapist, and I hope you have one because you need one, you're in corporate America. So when you go talk to your therapist, I want you to unpack that for yourself. If that's something like if this resonates with you and you're like, you know what, Felicia, I'm the same way. I was raised the same way. I was raised similarly. I'm supposed to do these things. I'm not going to get any credit for it, right? I get in trouble if it don't happen. And so like, if I don't get an A, I'm in trouble. So yeah, like holding on to all that is an ego-driven, a pride thing. And you have to let that go. You must kill your ego in order to be a great leader. And so, even me, I have to think through how critical I am, because I'm the hardest on myself, but I definitely have high expectations for all those people around me. And, through reading this book, though, I really have thought through about giving grace. I recognize, I'll give you an example. Ad Color was in LA a couple weeks ago, or, in November. And I was fortunate enough to attend one party. I didn't attend Ad Color, but one party, one of my really good friends, was her company party. She invited me. It was really, really nice. I met a lot of dope people. And as we were talking, and Black girls really are magical. Oh my God, I met some amazing, beautiful, smart, on it women, some of the most amazing people. And one thing I noticed is we love to edify each other, but nobody ever receives it. So like you'd be saying, oh my God, Felicia, and my friend's like, you have to meet such as my friend Felicia. She does this podcast. She does this. She does that. She came out to LA. She's doing all these things. And I was like, oh, I'm just starting out. It was like trying to downplay it. And I was the only person that did that. Then I started noticing other people was like, oh, this person, this star in this show, and they do this and that. And it's like, oh, and they were like, oh, no, it's not that big of a deal. It's like, what? Like, you're literally on TV right now. Then another person was like, producer and on like hit shows, right? And they're like, oh, I'm nobody. Nobody knows me. I'm like, wait, what? But you do all these amazing things. And it's so funny how we're so conditioned, even amongst ourselves, to just take credit for what you've actually done. And like own it and be like, yeah, it's pretty dope where I've done this. Yeah, it's cool. Own it. We got to start doing that, because when we start doing that for ourselves, we'll do that for others we work with. And not just for each other in social settings. So we really need to give ourselves grace and give ourselves more praise and be hearty in that approbation. I don't know what mid-century word that is, but I'm telling you, I know what it means. I have an understanding, but let's be lavish in our praise for ourselves and for each other. Okay? Now, if you need some help or advice about specific situation, go to trilliumba.com/coaching and you can schedule a 45-minute consultation with me to strategize and walk through your specific work situation. In addition, you can always email me at ask@trilliumba.com. I'm happy to either answer your question or connect you to the right person if I don't have the answer. Okay, so again, that's trilliumba.com/coaching to schedule a 45-minute consultation with me. And you can also ask@trilliumba.com. You can email me there and submit your question or concern. or if you just want to tell me how much you love the show and why I should keep doing it in 2023 and I shouldn't give up and quit. Because I'd be feeling like, why am I doing this again? This is a labor of love. And yeah, no, it's good. I'm not quitting. Sorry, guys. I'm not quitting. We're working on expansion. So we're not giving up just yet. So listen, if you guys need me, reach out. If you listen to the show and you want to connect with me on LinkedIn and you need me to connect you to somebody in my network, just tell me, hey, I listen to the show and I need connection, and you have all these wonderful people in your network. I am so happy to do that. I love connecting people. I'm the best at warm introductions. I love to make them. So if you need that or anything else, guys, but I will see you guys next week, and we will continue wrapping up this last part of How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. So until next time, guys, keep it trill. The Trill MBA Show is a Fair World Corp LLC production. Executive produced by Felicia and Rose Inuha. Sound design and editing by Chris Mann with Podshaper. Theme music is Kick Push by Ryan Little. Keep it trill every day, y'all.